What's going on, people? It's Gunsrar from NextGenTactics, and I'm bringing you a Call of Duty Black Ops weapon demonstration mini-series. Each video will showcase a specific weapon using only iron sights, no attachments, and no kill streaks to ensure that the video demonstrates the use of the weapon only. At the end of each video, I'll provide my personal opinion on the weapon and make recommendations in terms of attachments and in some cases perks and equipment. Alright, we're dealing with the MAC11 submachine gun. Very compact, high rate of fire. However, it's very similar in characteristics to the MP5 in that the accuracy of this weapon is, well, for a lack of a better word, atrocious. The range is subpar, the damage is okay, and it's actually also very similar to the performance of the Uzi. The difference being the accuracy and damage. They actually swap one sort of bar if you're looking at it that way. So the Uzi has one less in terms of damage, but one more in accuracy. Both same fire rate. Obviously, mobility is high because it's an SMG. But the MAC11 is again one of those SMGs. You may use it just to use it and get it, get some points for it or whatever. But it is typically an SMG that you want to avoid. There's nothing really spectacular about that particular weapon that would make you want to actually use it over the other SMGs. I mean, I would probably use the Scorpion over that, and the Scorpion's range is horrible, but at least the other characteristics such as the damage and the accuracy make the Scorpion, somewhat of a more versatile weapon. Whereas the MAC11 is just, high fire rate, but it's like hitting people with a BB gun. And it's odd though, but I see a lot of people using it. I don't know if you're just experimenting with it or not, but you can pretty much use any weapon. If you're a smart player and you know the maps really well, you can really use any weapon and do well with it. But why put yourself at a disadvantage by using a weapon like this? Of course, I've got sleight of hand so I can reload it fast. But the weapon, really, I mean, unless you're going to get up real close, similar to what I sort of explained with the MP5K and what I will be sort of reiterating with the Uzi, the MAC11 is really not an SMG that a beginner should be using. If you're getting used to, of course, claymores don't help, but if you're getting used to SMGs, you definitely want to sort of avoid the MAC11. And I hate to say it, and I know some of you guys aren't going to be happy about it, but the reality is that the AK-74U is the weapon that you will likely find easier to use, and that is because it is one of the most powerful SMGs and possibly powerful weapons in the entire game. MAC11, not so much. In terms of the actual attachments and stuff like that, it's kind of similar to what the MP5K was. If you're going to be running around, you're going to be looking at more or less, going up to people really close. You're not going to be, with the MAC11, you absolutely should be avoiding doing medium or long range shots at all costs. This is a weapon, this is a pure run and gun weapon, and you definitely want to be constantly on the move with this. And because of that, you're going to want to avoid grip. There's no point in putting grip on this particular weapon because the accuracy and the range and everything are so bad that the grip is kind of almost lost on it. In that particular case, because you're looking for that close quarter engagement, I highly recommend that you either use rapid fire or extended mag. Extended mag, again, because of the lack of accuracy, you're going to want to have a lot of bullets in there to take down whoever it is that you're shooting. And then rapid fire, again, to put in, kind of compensate as well, but to put as many bullets out there, to drop that enemy, because you're going to need them. The damage is not incredible on it. Again, range and accuracy are horrendous on it. So definitely I would go for extended mag or rapid fire in this case. You're going to also want, because of that, you're going to want scavenger. Scavenger, you're going to run out of a lot of bullets. If you're new to the game, I wouldn't concentrate too much on your kill-death ratio. Work more on using that weapon, learning how to evade, and learning the maps. And in that case there, you're likely going to die a lot anyway. So there's no point in putting Scavenger on in the early beginning stages when you're learning this game or when you're learning to use weapons, because you're likely going to die. So I would put on Lightweight rather than using Scavenger, because you're going to want to be able to move. You want that mobility factor, especially with an SMG. It's going to really help you out. A lot of people do use Flak Jacket. I like Flak Jacket as well. It's going to help you sort of avoid getting killed by every single frag, especially the claymores. It's going to save you a lot. Now, in terms of your second perk, perk number 2, steady aim, I would avoid. It's kind of like the grip factor here. And this particular weapon here, while it does improve it, and it will help with this weapon if you put on steady aim, same thing with grip. The problem is that you're at such a disadvantage, a severe disadvantage, you're severely handicapped in terms of accuracy and range on this weapon from the get-go, that something like steady aim and or grip on the weapon, while it does improve the characteristics, is pretty much wasted on this weapon. So definitely use something like sleight of hand. Hardened you want to avoid as well, because you're not going to be penetrating too many walls or objects or anything like that with these bullets. I mean, the damage count on it is minimal. You're not going to be looking for something like that, so it's completely wasted on this weapon. Definitely go with sleight of hand on this one here. I wouldn't waste time with any other perks in terms of perk 2. Alright, we're moving into perk 3 here, and this I find to be very, very influential on, at least on new beginners or intermediate gamers. This has a tremendous impact on your game. And there's different aspects or different ways of looking at what you would equip, and depending on your experience, this is going to largely determine what you choose. It's also actually map size. Map size has a large effect on it. I'm going to explain that between Marathon and Ninja Pro, which might be contrary to what you normally think in terms of what to use on that. Now, for the beginner, if you're finding, especially on tight sort of corridor maps, if you're finding that the other team, and you're staying in the lobby, that the other team's using a lot of claymores, Hacker is definitely something you want to use. Hacker is something, though, that I typically avoid unless I'm playing something like Search and Destroy, because I use a lot of claymores. I know where a lot of claymores are. I mean, I don't avoid claymores all the time. You saw me get killed by one earlier. And that's, you know, sometimes that's inevitable. You can't really do that. But for the most part, if you know the maps well, if you play the game long enough, you're going to know where typical claymores go, and using Hacker is not going to be necessary. And that leaves sort of 2 other ones. Well, first I want to address Second Chance. I know a lot of you guys use that. That's a loser perk. Avoid using a loser perk. And the reason why I say it's a loser perk is when you choose Second Chance, there's one of 2 mentalities that you're doing. One is, I'm not going to let that sniper, you know, take me out with one shot. I'm going to actually, you know, go down to Second Chance and maybe take someone out. Or, you know, when you kill me, I'm going to shoot your balls off and get a chance of actually killing you. And that's what I mean. It's a loser mentality. When you choose something like Second Chance, you're already saying, you know what, I'm gonna get killed. I'm gonna get killed, and I'm gonna try and balance it off with Second Chance. You're handicapping yourself because there's other perks in there that are going to help improve your game and make you more aggressive, rather than assuming that you're going to die and try and balance it that way. Focus on getting better. Focus on perks that are going to make you a lion, not a sheep. So in that case here, Marathon and Ninja Pro, those are the 2 that I would say that you should definitely be considering with an SMG. Ninja Pro, I actually, and here's the thought on this. Ninja Pro I would use on large maps and avoid using Marathon. Smaller maps, Marathon is great because there's a lot of tight corridors. It doesn't matter if you're heard because there's so much going on, there's so much noise, and everyone can hear you. You're in close proximity to everyone else that Ninja is almost lost on it. And you don't really need it, especially if you're using an SMG and you're constantly on the move. Marathon will do great. Marathon and lightweight with an SMG, you'll beast. I mean, you still got to know the maps a little bit, but it'll give you a good sporting chance anyway. Now, this is why I would say to use Ninja Pro. On a game like, or a map like Array, where there's large distances, a lot of people tend to camp. There's a lot of snipers, there's a lot of people camping in bushes on the perimeter. And the reason why Ninja is actually good for this is because you're going to have to travel long distances in between, you know, cover points or wherever it is that you're going. And not using Ninja will basically give away your position to all these people that camp, or snipers in that case. So I know it's a little bit strange. Marathon is lost. I mean, who really cares? If you're going to play sort of cautiously on larger maps, then, you know, you're going to go from cover to cover. And using Ninja is going to give you that advantage to getting close without alerting people that are camping. That's why I say that you'd be using Ninja rather than Marathon on the large maps. I mean, just running around on a large map in the open is going to get you killed anyway. So you're definitely, and the spawn system is going to put you well away, away from everyone else. Yeah, you want to get into the battle, but Marathon's not going to give you that much of an advantage on those large maps with the huge open areas and sightlines. All you're going to need to do, I mean, hell, you're going to need to use the rock as cover and stuff like that, because they're going to, you know, own your ass. And there's a lot of people that camp in those maps. So Ninja definitely is a good idea for the larger maps, Marathon for the smaller maps. Well, that's it with the MAC11. Again, like I said before, try to avoid it. MP5K can be justified because it's available all the time, but the MAC11 is a waste of a weapon. Avoid this weapon at all costs. Get the latest updates and stay in touch with the NGT community with our all-new Facebook application. Check the description of the video for details.